Hey, Rick.
Anybody else on here?
Hey, Ray.
Who is that, John?
This is Tom Wells. If you're seeing John's face on there, that's
Yeah. Yeah.
he's driving to California as we speak.
Well, good for him. Hope he doesn't get flooded out.
Hey, well, for good or ill, it's at least helped. Well, two things: a little bit of
Paul.
water in some reservoirs.
Good evening.
Hey, Paul, Olivier, how are you?
Not too bad. I'm glad you guys got my email yesterday.
I'm sorry.
That's so long ago, I can't remember that far back.
I'm glad some of you guys got my email yesterday.
About Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was a really interesting guy, you know, in the baritone line. Always enjoyed him. I mean, he was, I think he was a little older. He was even older than me, and I think I was pretty old when I came in at, gosh, how old was I? 68, that'd be 54, 64. I was 28 when I came in the Corps. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey,
Mike, how are you?
That's
pretty good, age considered.
Yeah, that's a lovely picture of John Crowder.
It is, because John is driving to California, and this is Tom Wells. So if I put my picture up, it'll be too
Okay.
hideous for human eyes to see.
Okay. Why is he driving to California?
Well, his granddaughter flew in from Hawaii, and she does gymnastics, and so they're going
okay.
out there. They're going out there to because they don't obviously get a chance to see her do it very often. So
Oh,
they're
okay.
going out there to watch her to meet, which is really cool.
Yeah, I went through that with the gymnastics, and my daughter got me to go to cheerleading competition. First time I really thought about taking my own life. I swear. It was
Oh,
hard.
I thought you meant, yeah, you were gonna be the gymnast and you were
No.
gonna be the.
No.
Actually, Ray, I was thinking he was going to be at the top of the pyramid,
Yes.
but then I realized,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
probably not.
No. So how you guys doing? Did everybody have a nice holiday?
very nice.
That's good.
We did.
Is everybody enjoying nice weather?
No,
It's been pretty cold here.
We broke a record today. It was 85. I'm sorry.
Oh, God, shut up.
so
God.
Mike, what part of Florida are you in again?
I live on the East Coast in Melbourne Beach. That's maybe about 20 miles from Cape Canaveral, south.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
about 2 hours from Spike.
Yeah, my son he works down there with Northrop Grumman at Melbourne.
You told me that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. This place is loaded with aerospace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many of them, and a lot of my neighbors are engineers and work for the aerospace industry.
Right.
I had a chance in about 1980 to build a television studio there for American Television and Communications Corporation, which became Time Warner Cable.
Oh,
So I spent a little bit of time down there and really enjoyed it.
yeah. Well, we've thought about moving maybe up to Myrtle Beach, but I can't go past where the sign says, bridge freezes before the highway. So I have to stay south of that.
See, matter of fact, I'm going to go again just south of Myrtle Beach, Pawleys Island,
Yeah.
and Litchfield and all that in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there. There's a group of us crazy musicians that used to go every year, but yeah, he's already made the reservations.
You ever come down to see your son?
No.
Okay. If you ever do, please.
Oh, yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me know.
Absolutely.
So
He's
Gary
looking-
Hodges, are you on board?
I am. Can you hear me?
Well,
Yeah, but we can't see your pretty face, Gary.
I'm working on that.
Okay, working on getting a pretty face.
Yeah, I
That's
have
a,
my makeup. I have to put my makeup on.
that's a labor of love. I know that.
I know, yeah. It gets
Well,
harder
let's-
every year.
So let me tell you the Alaska version of the Florida story. So this is especially for Ray and Mike. So you don't want to go where it says where the bridge freezes.
Yeah,
Well, I was in Alaska for 28 years. And so there's always the story about guys getting ready to pack up and leave Alaska. And he goes out there and the car's all ready to go and the trailer's all ready to go. And he goes out and neighbors are watching this and
There's the
he's
mute,
got a snow shovel.
right?
And he secures it to the front end, using duct tape, man's friend, right? Man's best friend, secures his snow shovel to the front of his car or truck. And neighbor walks up to him and says, like, why do you have that on there? He says, what's that for? He says, snow shovel? He says, well, what I'm gonna do, he says, when I stop and somebody asks me what that is, that's where I'm stopping.
okay. That's pretty far south. Is what he's doing.
Hey, John. Oh, you're not queued up or vocal. You're not vocal yet.
Who?
John Dye. I mean Cindy Dye, it says, but I think that's wrong.
Okay, yeah.
There
That's
you
a
go.
typo.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, Cindy, you can go.
Hey, John, would you leave and put Cindy on? We'd prefer that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey,
Hello,
Bob,
Mike. Hello, Bob. Hello, John. Paul.
Hello.
Ray.
Gary's bashful. He's putting his rouge on his cheeks and eyeliner and stuff,
Right.
getting pretty.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, can you get Crowder's picture off of there?
do I have to?
Yeah.
Why?
Otherwise, you'll get an Article 15, and you know what that means.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I survived without one, and I'm not quite sure how that happened.
I got one, and I had to go to Thurston, and because I missed a dental
Hey,
appointment.
Gary.
Gary Hodges. All right.
I'm back.
I guess you didn't finish doing your makeup.
No,
Okay.
you get the
So-
old face.
Yes.
So Ray, here's the deal. I'm actually what I'm doing is I'm utilizing Crowder's system and his account. So I don't want to mess with it. So
Okay, I got you. It was just a thought.
well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to be beautiful too, but I would just be one more bald guy on the screen.
Well,
Wonderful
he's
with
getting
that.
there too. His hairline.
I think some of us got invited to leave.
Yes.
Anyway, as John would say, it's 8:35. We'll continue this BS for a couple more minutes, and I'll toss up the few slides we've got. I know Bob Morvac had contacted me and let me know that he wasn't going to be able to attend. He's traveling. Yeah, I keep thinking he was someplace having fun with grandkids or kids up north or something. Anyway, so
Hey, Tom,
yeah.
your audio is not coming through very clearly. Maybe it's my hearing, but
Anybody else having a problem?
that's better now.
No,
Hi,
I'm
Paul.
not.
Hello, Paul.
Evening, guys.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
General Meyer, how are you?
I'm doing good. The snow has stopped.
How much
Snow.
did you get? How much did you get in Connecticut?
Nothing. Just it was about 2 inches of partly cloudy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we had the same thing here in Oklahoma. I mean, they canceled some universities and public schools and churches meetings won't be happening, and because this big thing's coming in, and yeah, we got a little dusting. I mean, the roads weren't affected at all, and there's about maybe a half inch of snow on the grass and the sides of the roads, but that was about it. But it was kind of chilly.
We
It was not 13 degrees, and with the wind chill it was like a -4 or something like that.
That's colder than my freezer.
There was a lady at spin class this morning, or is a lady at spin class this morning, who has a daughter who teaches school in Alaska and lives up there. And she has a 6-year-old that was waiting for the bus this morning. It was minus 35 and a blizzard, and they didn't cancel school.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
could use a little of that down here.
So
Wow.
Bob Z, where do they live in Alaska?
Well, I'll tell you in Bethel.
Okay. And that's on the coast, and that's actually usually a little bit warmer than further north.
Yeah,
A place I've been that you're not gonna get to, I suspect.
nope. I don't think any of us are going to Bethel, unless we could get a gig up there, maybe.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I played a gig at Fort Yukon more than once. Anyway.
Gary
Well,
Hodges.
alrighty.
I was
sorry.
kind of surprised when I was watching the 49ers game, and I didn't know that the stadium is in Santa Clara. And we played there. I think the Vanguard had a show or something.
We stayed
Yeah.
at Santa Clara Naval Air Station.
Okay, yeah. We stayed in the
We're
Naval Air
doing the,
Station down in New Orleans too for the Sugar Bowl that year.
When
Yeah,
we
that
were in
was-
Anaheim, isn't that when we went to Disneyland and marched the noon parade?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
we went to
Yeah.
Anaheim we also went to Anaheim to play the Anaheim home show in 1971.
That's the one, must have been with me that I was in.
We did one in Anaheim for the Halloween parade. And the following morning, we all got on the bus and went to Disneyland. And we were told that we weren't going to be allowed to play in the parade at Disneyland because they were concerned that there would be war protesters there. You remember that, John?
No, I don't.
I don't
We sat
either.
in the parking lot for a good hour. And then Bill came back to the bus and said, sorry to tell you guys, but they're not going to allow us in. So we all went back to our motel and watched the Air Force Arizona State game on TV.
Well, I don't remember that.
I don't either.
No.
Didn't we play at Disney World?
No,
No.
Disney World wasn't built yet.
Yeah.
Well, I know it wasn't then. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, all right, so it had to be there.
We actually were, we
played at
actually,
Disneyland one time before, but this time they didn't allow us in.
Okay, okay.
But, the night before, we played a show in Anaheim and then marched out and did the Halloween parade.
Hey, Paul, when did we go? We went to Disneyland in was it 67 or something? And we played the
67 or 68, yeah.
yeah, we played
I'd guess 68, maybe.
yeah, we played the parade down Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was probably 72 when they canceled our performance in the parade.
I don't remember. I remember marching the parade, Paul. And
Yeah, I
I
do too.
remember one of the things that happened was Whitey Ledwin was playing bass drum. And as we were marching down Main Street, he snagged his mallet, his drum mallet, in the trash can and couldn't get it out and had to stop. He stopped and spun around and was trying to get his mallet out of the trash can, and they had to run and catch up with the Corps.
That may have been the year before, John, because I didn't get there till January of 71.
Okay.
John, a guy along the street saw that and he made a little mental note, and eventually he turned that into that group Stomp. That's where it came from.
Oh, really?
Oh.
No, no.
Stump.
was that, Bob, was that before or after he moved to Australia and invented it?
Yeah, probably. I don't know much
Actually-
about Australia, John.
Well, that's,
Bill, who's over there.
Stop was not necessarily an American creation. One more word about Disneyland. There is a picture, and I just made myself a note, and I'll try and locate it. You've all seen it before. It's a shot where, well, that was where Doug Lint passed out, and Bob Moravec is standing over, smiling at him there. And actually, it was Snow White or Sleeping Beauty was leaning over him, trying to get him. I hesitate to say aroused, but try to get him to come to, basically. So, but I have that shot. No, I'll see if I can't make that available for the next little gathering. So yeah,
Was that one of the pictures that Shinsign took as the group photographer, the black and whites?
John, I don't remember about that. I couldn't tell you that.
Because that's where like the shots of Snow White and a few others, Shinstein was going around on that trip, and he took a whole bunch of black and white photos of us all marching and behind the scenes there. Mike, you probably know where I mean, where we were staging to start the parade, I believe, and all the characters were in costume, and we were chatting with them, and all the guys were hitting on Snow White and hitting on
Darn right.
Who else? Yeah.
We ain't stupid. We may be slow, but we ain't stupid.
Well, I'll have to say they were cute.
Well, that's the first time I knew there was a whole underground network. You know, all the dressing rooms and everything were under there.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen Cinderella and Snow White in their underwear, just carrying her dress on a hanger, walking it. When I would get from one park to another at Magic Kingdom, you'd have to walk through the tunnel. And it's very common to see them walking around in their underwear.
So what'd you think about the big bad wolf, Mike?
Yeah, that's when the rest of my other parts of my body used to get stiff, which no longer get stiff anymore.
Perks of the job.
Yeah,
huh?
that's it.
As my son says, you know, he's still in the Air Force. He says, that ship has not only sailed, it's sank.
Yes.
So Gary Hodges, my heart went out to you, man. Is the Ohio State University didn't quite make it.
Yeah, but as it
That was
turns
a
out,
targeting
I still think that would have been a better contest. I mean, I was a TCU fan being in the Big 12, but you know,
You use the word contest lightly, right?
That was definitely targeting that should have been called. That cost us when we lost the tight end and we lost our number one receiver.
It seems to me that football, both in the NFL and college, it's just getting much more dangerous all the time. I mean, it seems like sometimes every 5 plays, there's a 300-pound tackle that's writhing on the ground, and you know, all that. It's just.
Is it, or are we just hearing more about it with communication?
Well, no, when you're watching it live,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah.
I think the players are stronger and bigger and, you know, more athletic and
And way faster.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and hi Spike Ruggles. If you get on board here, Paul Mayer, we've lost
He's getting there.
lovely your picture, but are you still there?
Your
His
countenance, Paul.
Paul's camera broke when they saw it.
Oh, well, now Spike's ranked ahead of Paul on the screen. So there we go.
I can see Spike from the eyeballs down.
We get half a spike.
Oh,
Hey,
there you go.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
It was better before though. That glare
we
off
can't
your
hear you,
head
Spike.
right now.
Yeah.
It's a halo.
All right, guys.
That'll be the day.
Hey,
That'll be the day, hey, when I die.
Don't give up your day job.
What day job? My day
Yeah.
job is cleaning the dishes in the kitchen and mowing the
Right.
snow, and you know.
So what happened to Paul?
Whatever. I have no idea what happened to Paul, but wasn't at this end, I don't think.
He may have had to go pee-pee.
Maybe.
That does happen. Let's see. So Paul Olivier, at the last meeting, I guess this would constitute really old business. I didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about it, but you had asked about some information about Wally Fritz.
Yes,
Well, I sent him an email, the email that I have, which if you look at on the emails that I send out to the group here, he's on there. Well, it didn't bounce back, so I guess the account is still open, but I've had no response. So I want you to know I tried to do that, but I don't have a phone number for him. So I just wanted to close that gap with you.
okay, well, thank you very much. I'll try to send them an email as well. I assume if I look through the list of people on that
He's there.
email, I'll be able to figure out which one's him.
Yeah. If you can't, let me know.
Okay,
Shoot me an email and I'll double check it for you. But like I said, I didn't get a response, which is, if I'm not getting bounced back, that means something's still open. Well, you're an IT guy, you know that. Anyway, I'm not. So, but I did try and do that follow-up for you.
well, thank you.
You bet. I tell you what I'm going to do, if you guys don't mind. And again, for those that were late on, the reason you're looking at John Crowder's face and not seeing not hearing his voice is he's traveling to California en route, and he's going out there to visit see his granddaughter from Hawaii perform at a gymnastics competition. So he sends his regards and plans to see you in February. So we'll take it from there. So anyway, I'm going to try and go to screen share. So forgive me here if I lose everything, which never happens in life. I'm going to try and put up what passes for just a few PowerPoint slides for this program. So let's see what happens. Can you all see that so far?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, it looks like crap right now. Let's see if I can go to, let's see. Normally I would go to show and do this.
Hit slideshow.
There we
It's-
go.
there
right
you
up
go.
there. Yeah,
From the
the
beginning.
beginning.
Yep.
Like I've never performed in public before, right?
Okay.
To think that I've taught all around the country and continue to do so for a living. Scary thought, guys, scary thought. Anyway, that's our January 2023 Zoom meet. And are you still seeing the folks here on the side of the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
yes.
Oh, there, I'm hiding that now, hopefully. So here we go. I did not send out a formal agenda. We'll just I'll try and do better next time. And we'll see what happens.
We just wing it. We'll be fine.
Wing it. That's an Air Force phrase, right?
Yep,
Anyway, there you go.
pretty much, because we were just improvising the whole time we were there, right?
So I was
Yes.
faking it the whole time. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Here's a lovely patch from which clue it's not a patch. It looks like a piece of wood, but I have no idea where or who this came from, but it's cool nonetheless.
Did Doug Lint send that in, a picture of that?
I'm telling you, I don't have a clue right now about that.
I
He
thought
might-
I saw
he may
that
have.
on Facebook and I don't, yeah. It's obviously a piece of the top of a stump.
Yeah, it's someone that would burn that for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but it's cool. And,
Oh, yeah.
and I got rid of an old wood burning kit that I had when I was a kid, where you used to burn that crap up and do stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Boy
I
Scouts.
didn't, yeah. And I didn't want my daughters to have it. Anyway, well, we'll go from there.
Mhm.
Let's see what else we got here. Here's the agenda from the Zoom calendar. So welcome and introductions. I think we've already done that. I told you about John, old business. If somebody has some old business, speak up now. Well, okay, guess took care of that. Honor roll update. At the last meeting in December, I had sent out a list of the honor roll and asked if, as an attachment, and asked if anybody had any further updates. And I guess for the next one, maybe we'll talk about Jim McCurdy here for a while. And that would be an element of that. And I don't think we have anybody doing This Is Your Life tonight. I know Paul Mayer has been threatening to do it, but Paul, are you back on?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm still threatening.
In other words, your commitment is yet unfilled, as my friend Bob Zorfos might say.
Yes, we'll see if we can collect this all. I've got some pictures that I've been searching for that I think you fellas would like to see, and I keep trying to find them. I know they're here someplace. I'll find them for hopefully February.
Sounds like a plan. We'll give it a shot. It's not like anybody's being paid to do this stuff, or and not just having fun doing it. So as you can, hopefully you're out of negotiations at this point, and life is moving forward.
Back in.
Back in.
Yeah.
Make myself a note here that you can't see, which is good. It just says Paul Mayer, February, maybe. And we'll kind of go from there. If anybody else would like to volunteer, except of course I know Mike has been around the world and thoroughly enjoyed that, and some other folks, so away we go. Just out of idle curiosity, besides back it up for a second, on the honor roll, is anybody aware of anybody else that has fallen or gone missing last time we got together?
Nope.
Okay. Any particular news? And there are more slides after this one, but this is passing for like the agenda, if you will. So it's maybe the shortest Air Force Zoom meeting in history right here. Any news that we need to know about?
Hey, I've got some news about me personally. I guess most of you know that, and we talked about this before, that I wound up buying a trumpet for the same reason nobody played taps at 3 o'clock on Memorial Day. So I bought a trumpet, and I talked to Paul about this before. So I enjoyed it so much. I got a book with it, you know. So I started going through the book, and I enjoyed it. I wound up getting a trumpet instructor. Comes to the house about every few weeks. I've had about 4 or 5 lessons, but I'm self-teaching myself to the point where about 3 weeks ago, I joined the Melbourne local orchestra. So now I go to band practice. I've practiced more now than I ever did when I was in the Corps. It's just, I'm having so much fun, and I'm playing second and third trumpet parts, and I'm just having a blast. And it's just a community orchestra, and they play shows and stuff, and I'm just having a great time.
Good for you, Mike. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Outstanding. That's wonderful.
Congratulations.
It was just fun playing with a group again, you know, and
It's therapeutic, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just.
and they're all white-headed. And one of the charts he gave out was it was called the Midway March.
Yeah.
And it's a great march. And then I look around, and I think more than half of those guys were at Midway. So just assuming.
Including yourself.
Exactly. No,
Yeah, that was Russell Bennett, I think, that wrote that. That's a good march.
I'm having a brain fart right now. This was done by guy who writes Star Wars and
John Williams.
John Williams, thank you. And it was his arrangement, and they have all kinds of charts, and it's just a lot of fun. And one thing I did learn, when the director gives you the break with all those people, you have to be about the first couple in line to go to the bathroom. You know how many prostates are involved with that? Jesus Christ. First one, I made a mistake. The next time, I was second in line. I didn't screw around. Trumpets are in the back, and I just go right over. But yeah, it's a great time.
Bob Zarfos, hold that thought that Mike Ruggiano was just talking about. The next time we have Lance's rehearsal and you want to go for an hour and 15 minutes with just the drummers, there's only that one tiny restroom that women use also. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
I'd let you go sooner, Tom, but you need to practice.
Practice going or practice drumming.
Yes.
I could pee down my leg anytime.
That's the
Sadly,
trickle. That's
often
the
do.
trickle down theory in economics, right?
Oh, that's good, Ray. You need to
Yep.
find a new career as a humorist.
Hey, I'm still playing in both our big band jazz group and our big symphonic band, both. And I just cranked up, as if I didn't have enough to do in the evenings. I just cranked up our trombone quartet again. And we had our first rehearsal this morning. And yeah, it's just cool. I mean, we play, we play Alexander's Ragtime Band to Corelli's Sonata IV number 10 or whatever, but it's just, I just want to keep chugging along, man. I mean, I know I'm not the player I used to be. I mean, at 78 years old, I mean, but I'm still hanging in there. And as my wife says, just keep on tooting your own horn.
Hey,
So,
as you should.
Well, I think Mike said what's important, playing with the group. That really does it.
Yeah.
That brings it on for anybody, I think. It's
Absolutely.
not only depressing to play by yourself, because you want to be so much better, but you want to sound as good as the rest of the group, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big thing.
I tried buying, you can get a book with a CD in it where the music will play and you play along with it as the first trump. That didn't satisfy me. So when I found this thing, this is like a home run for me.
yeah.
It's and Doug Lint, I believe, still plays with a group there in outside of Chicago. He plays timpani and some other stuff. And also one other thing I'll say about Doug, I don't think that most of you know he's also a very talented vocalist, and he actually taught choral groups in school too. And don't tell him I've tooted his horn for him, but so yeah, Doug has more talents than pasting bad jokes on Facebook. He really is a very well-rounded human being. Anyway. But I would agree with you. One of the things you do when you're playing by yourself is you miss that whole human interaction and that kind of that warmth that spreads over you when you're, sharing that musical experience with other people in the room, providing that sound. It is really something. I know for me, work I do with kids at the high school is one thing, but performing like with the Lancers is entirely something different. That whole performance category really fills a void in the brain. I mean, truly a void. And I think it's an absolute necessity as a musician. And of course you all are musicians, so we'll take it from there.
Hey, Mike, does the band practice every week?
Yeah, every Tuesday from 9 to 11.
AM or PM?
No, it's AM. PM, most of the people are getting their diapers changed and going to bed.
You got uniforms and everything, or what?
They wear golf shirts with a logo on it.
Nice.
So we have 3 concerts in March. So I could get some pictures. I'm going to be having, and I'll pass them on.
We want videos. We don't want pictures.
I could get. All my kids want to come down and see Boom Pop play. So we're going to. Somebody will take a video.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's the New Alliance Orchestra in Melbourne, Florida.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great.
So we've been playing a lot of neat stuff, and I'm just having a good time.
Mike, you and I should get together and play a duet for this group one night.
If you get a piece of music and you want to send it over to me, just right now, if I can get up to an A and even a B above staff, but sometimes I shit my pants, so I gotta watch and keep control of that.
You gotta pucker your cheeks together, man.
Yeah, all four of them. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All you need is some Depends.
Yeah, that's it. And a cork. I'm just kidding about that. I'm just making a joke. But yeah, I'm getting that was my object, is to get the range and get to see above the staff. But I'm working towards that.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good
and
for you.
And so, yeah, but any video I get or anything like that, I'm definitely in it. Paul, if you got something you want to send me, we can work on it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You know what
The,
we need to,
The group
need
that
to
I
do-
play with, we now have a Facebook page. It's called Magnificent Brass. And it's really neat to see a Facebook page of older folks that are playing brass instruments and hanging
Yeah.
out together. It's great fun. You know, and people putting comments up that are generally allowed to stay up on it as well, which is pretty
Yeah.
good.
you know,
So
it would
that's my
really-
news.
It would really be cool to have a couple of you guys do a performance together and present it. The technology is a little difficult on occasion, as memory serves me correctly, but it would really be neat.
They've got some sophisticated stuff that's pretty pricey. I tried pulling that off with one a gal that I'm mentoring to take my place at some point. Been working with her now for 3 or 4 years, every Thursday at 10:30. And we tried doing remote. She was in Ponca City and I'm in Stillwater. And there was a time lag in there, which just drove us crazy. So we just tried that one time and said, nope, that didn't work at all. Because I don't know what measure she's on, because you got like a quarter rest lag in between, but on the paper it's reading every beat's being played. So
Yeah, it's the difference between watching it, hearing it, and what you actually see on the sheet.
Yeah, and that lag in there was just, we could not make it work. It wouldn't make any difference where you had the little mic on your bell or which way the bell was pointing or anything. So
No, it's within the I believe it's within the technology itself.
oh
And,
yeah. But
one of the,
I checked on that, but I just didn't want to shell out $2,000 so we could play duets, So
oh, wait a minute, there's a few people on board here tonight that are wealthy, I'm sure, beyond all belief. No, never mind.
yeah.
Anyway. That was a
Hey,
bad.
one of you just start one beat early.
Oh, yeah.
Or the other one's gonna be a beat off.
Mhm.
This is going
Oh,
live,
I'm glad I didn't say that. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to comment too on the idea that you were playing by yourself. I thought you meant you were playing with yourself, but
That's a waste of time.
yeah, it's just frustrating. Isn't it?
Yeah.
As a friend of mine, this actually happened. I was at a meeting in Kansas City, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, would you tell Gene that his pants are unzipped, his fly's open?" And I walked over and said, "Hey, Gene," I said, "Bill said to let you know that your fly's unzipped." And Gene says, "Well, Tom, you go tell him that what can't get up can't get out." I'll let it go. Okay.
So I did try Viagra and I had a side effect. I went to the doctors. I said, every time I take a pill, my neck gets stiff. He says, you're not swallowing it fast enough.
Oh, very good. Thanks, Mike.
It's okay. This is being taped, right?
Actually, yeah, it is being recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're trying not to. Of course, anything on the internet is always available, but we're not planning on sharing it out anyway.
It's
Yeah,
all
recorded.
Crowder. It's all Crowder's fault for driving to California. He's got better control of what's going on.
I look at it this way. I'm pretty sure I don't have any top secret documents at home. Or I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I have any. So, okay, moving on. Whoa, let me back up. Back to here. This will come up a bit later. I'd sent out a thing with the meeting dates for 2023. And so our next meeting will be in February on the 22nd, 2023. Al Ruat's not on tonight, but he had some thoughts, and I'll catch that here in just a little bit. So if anybody's all we're trying to do is make it simple, go here, try and plan out for the year, mark it on your calendar if you do that.
It's a nice touch. Thank you. Thank you.
It was actually easy. So
Yeah.
anyway, and I think, and you can't see it at the bottom here because it got cut off in the slide, and I was too damn lazy not to put a new slide in the PowerPoint. But once again, I think the November meeting is canceled, and we go to an early December meeting. Anyway, appreciate that. So it seemed to be a simpler way of doing it from a planning standpoint.
Don Sunny, he popped up there for a minute.
Well, there we go. So there's Don and Fish. Now, why this is here, John and I talked for a minute. There have been some discussion about Don. Former, let's see.
Royal Heirs.
Royal Heir. Whoa,
Yeah.
Get back. Speaking of Royal Heirs, I'm too quick with my mouse here. Anyway, Don, somebody been talking about Don. He's still out there. Haven't heard anything bad about him. Haven't been able to get him on board here.
That's his Facebook picture.
Yep, that's what it is. So he's obviously found a new life besides, lugging a contrabass around on his shoulder. Anyway, who knows? We'll pick this up. John may have heard something that I didn't hear about, which is entirely possible.
Pregnant pause.
I have some information that I could stick in here anytime.
Go for it. We're not.
It's not very good information, but I heard, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, that Jim McCurdy passed away.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah, we
anybody
talked
heard
about
that?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul
Sent
Olivier
that out.
sent some information out.
Oh, okay. All right. Didn't know where it came from, but all right.
It was on the Springs Gazette yesterday.
That's where I saw it. And why it was in the Gazette, I don't know, but
Well, I assumed he knew a lot of people here in the Springs since he lived here as long as he did.
yeah, or he might have been an Air Force musicians alumni too. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was that much older than us.
Well,
But
I always
he was
thought he
such a
was
good
when he
guy.
was with us. He was, I thought about the oldest one in the group, but didn't know.
He was
I don't know who
probably
would have been the
around
oldest.
Jim Moore's and Gary Likens' age,
Greg
Right.
Likens.
or Greg Likens.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think, I didn't, well, we were trying to figure this out earlier, and my math in my head, okay, 44, 64, 68. So I was 25 when I got in at the academy.
So he was a solid decade older than you.
When
Who
I got
was?
to the
Likens?
academy, he
Oh, not
was
Likens, Jim
17
McCurdy.
years older than I.
Oh, McCurdy.
He
How
was in the
about,
Marines before he was in the Air Force.
How
Yeah,
about Bob Long?
He'd have been close to his age.
yeah.
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 Radomski? No, he was younger, I think.
Yeah.
He used to live out there by Bond Shopping Center.
Okay.
And I don't know if some of you guys remember, but we had a corps rehearsal out in the park there across from the Bond Shopping Center.
Yeah, we went there several times to practice the show.
Yep. And he lived just a couple blocks from there.
Gary
I think
Hodges.
Royal Heirs is misspelled. I think it's AYRS.
I believe.
Am I
Yeah, well,
wrong?
I'm not gonna argue it.
There's an E in there somewhere.
Yeah,
A-R-E-S,
Yeah, it's the
A-I-R-E-S,
I. It's the
Yeah.
I.
and all one word.
Yeah, one word. You're right. Yeah.
let's just say that I'm not going to argue with the cake decorator after nearly 5 years.
Well, and John Zimney, he was from up there.
Yeah, he was,
Yeah,
or is from right
Right.
up there.
yeah.
He's still out in Sacramento.
Oh,
So if
Why?
you didn't know that,
Awesome.
he's got a world class. He's been a teacher out there for years, and he's got a world class middle school jazz band. And his wife, I believe, also teaches music. I think she does. And they've
He's
had,
retired now.
say what?
Gary's retired. His wife is retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been in touch with him, Paul?
Yeah, Johnny's middle school band is Folsom, Folsom, middle school.
Yep.
And they have won senior honors in the Downbeat Magazine Jazz Festival for middle school and high school students year after year.
Yeah, they're a remarkable group.
If you get a chance to look them up on LinkedIn and or rather on anything, just Google them and listen. You'll think you're listening to a college dance band. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah.
Very talented young folks.
Yeah, I ran into him a few years ago. We were up in Williamsport for the DCA senior alumni groups, and his drum bugle corps out of Sacramento was there. Also, the freelancers alumni were there. It was good to see him again after all those years.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
But anyway, so yeah, Royal Heirs is misspelled, but this is from 5 years ago. I don't know who ordered the cake. Doesn't matter. Don posted it, I think, and away we go. And thanks to that insight, I didn't realize, Paul, that his wife had retired. Which she was also a music teacher, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a very small world across the country, and he's still doing it. So anyway, it'd be great to get him on board, but he doesn't tend to do a lot of these things. So we'll let it go at that. Oh, what else do we know here? Hang on, let me set that back up.
Hey, Tom, do you have the picture that I took of the snare line the other day? I'll let you stop. Okay, go back a minute. Go back a minute. Go
I'm
back.
trying to go
Stop
back.
right there.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's my basement. Go,
hang
no,
on. I'm
So,
trying to get back to where
this-
I was
this
in the
is-
program.
this is the back of Tom's head here. Yeah, you can see him in the mirror.
Yeah, that would be the bald guy there, the bald guy there, the bald guy there. Anyway, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, he
Bob,
probably,
for those that don't know, Bob is the percussion instructor for the Lancers, and he opens up his basement. And I often thought this was like a sex shop when I first walked in because of all the mirrors. I've never mentioned that to Pat, Bob's lovely wife and the woman that allows him to live there. So if my comments seem untoward, I do apologize. But actually, it was for drummers to see what their sick positions were and stuff like that. You don't often see this.
Good idea.
Yeah, it is. We do the same thing. We work we have our bass drums work in a room. It's got a wall full of mirrors so they can check their hand positions during rehearsals. It's a great idea, actually.
Hey, Bob Zarfos, tell us about all those hats that are hanging around.
I just sort of collect hats somehow. When I go somewhere, I buy a hat. But if you look up in the front, there are a couple there that say Air Force Drum Corps, and God only knows what they say. I had one on today that said "Drink Naked." It's not a practice that I adhere to, but it's a nice hat.
It's great in the hot tub, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, I was going to say, Bob, thank God you don't. By the way, in this picture, this photograph, just put something in perspective. If you look to the far right, in the front row there, the gentleman in the blue shirt, not the African American, but the gentleman in the blue shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, he was with the United States Marine Drum Bugle Corps. He left the Marine Drum Bugle Corps in 1970, June of 70 or 71. So we probably ran across him in our travels across the United States.
Yeah.
And, 50, 60 years later, you turn around and here you are in the same room having a rehearsal with a guy to, perform with in a different organization.
Yeah, it's a small world. It's a small world. Well, Tom, since you mentioned the Marine Drum Corps, I think it's notable that the Lancers have a show April 1st here at the local Penn State campus in a very nice auditorium, acoustically balanced, and we sell out every year, but this year the Marine Drum Corps is coming up and play an exhibition for us. So I think that's
Wow,
quite
cool.
a coup. And of course, with our affiliations with Air Force Drum Corps, the Marine Drum Corps is really the only one that's still kicking. And so I'm really excited to have them coming.
Bob, what's the date of that show?
April
April 1st.
I'll be, if you follow Facebook, if you're on, I don't know if you guys are on my feed or not, most of you are not, like on my friends list, but if you go up on Facebook and look for Lancers Drum Bugle Corps or Lancers Alumni Drum Bugle Corps, the announcement went out like a couple of days ago about the lineup for the show. And so you can do that. And the Hawthorne Cabs alumni are going to be there. And let's see, Blessed Sack alumni, the Marine Drum Bugle Corps. Anyway.
Boston Crusaders.
Boston Crusaders alumni.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bob's already got the list in front of him, but
I do not. I have, I'm guessing here. We always have a high school group just to try to do something for local kids to give them an opportunity to perform on stage in a professional setting. So we have a middle school drum line, have no idea what we're going to get from that. And of course the Lancers. And I think, Tom, we're waiting for one more group. We should have 7. And
yeah, I
Paul,
was going to say, I just looked at it a little earlier. I just remembered it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The middle school group actually is the guy that plays timpani for the Lancers, Zane. He teaches that group, and he also has has had a group within the York, Pennsylvania area drumline, and they've been a lot of fun to have around. They've performed at the show before, so you get that kind of the spread from really, really old guys like us to really, really young guys like them. So it's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, this is Bob's house. And he's coughed it up more than once. So let's see if I can find.
We're running out of space, So I'll shut up. So here's Thomas.
Well, you know what? My problem is I'm having a problem going in reverse here. So forgive me. What I'm going to try and do is go back and pick up the slides that, like I say, bear with me. God darn it. Let me restart the share or try to. Patience, folks, patience. Okay, if you can stand it, let's see if I can go full screen again. Well, okay, this is called technical difficulties. Can you guys see this okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so forgive me if I can't get back to a full screen for some reason. So this was a shot. We had a Lancers gathering. Bob, a little more info.
I beg your pardon.
A little more info, Bob.
Oh, I thought you were talking, Tom. Well, it was our core picnic, and we had about 10 times more food and alcohol than we needed. And the one good thing about drum corps and drumming is we still party and we still enjoy being together. It's the best thing.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's see. I'm going to back up. We got that one. We got that one. It was a good day at the office that day, by the way. I say that. And for Mike, I think your involvement in community band is great. It keeps things like this going on. You saw this already? Okay,
Yeah.
thought I might have missed one. Okay, so the lady to the left, as you look at the screen, is Pat Zorfoss. As I alluded to earlier, this is the woman that allows Bob to do what he does. And in the middle there, on the right is the bald guy, me. And in the middle is John Flowers, lovely bride. If you don't know John Flowers, he's one of the world-class drummers from the Air Force Drum and Bugle Corps. He's in his late 80s. What is he, 86, 87
Yeah,
now?
he's about 6 months younger than me, so I think we're both 86. Yeah.
Anyway, she's over, I believe, somewhere in Africa.
No, India.
Oh,
in
India,
India,
that's right. She's in India. They're world travelers. And
She's a world traveler. John stays home.
Yeah, she's done elephant rescue. She's done anyway, but she's been involved in color guard. She plays cymbals with the Lancers Drum Bugle Corps, plays other stuff too. She has a very incisive wit, and you don't want to get on her bad side. I'll just take it from there. So, but she's just another drummer, you know what I mean? Anyway, so there we were. This was the December. This was the December lunch that Bob put together. He tries, and to do this every year. And now we're doing it. I'll say we in the broad sense, Bob.
It's okay.
In lieu of a reunion, it's easier to get people together for a lunch every 6 months rather than a full blown. Maybe they can make it, maybe they can't.
So these are all people with an Air Force Drum Corps affiliation, be it the Academy or the DC Corps.
Yep. So if you ever find yourself in the neighborhood, and once again, we'll send the dates out, you're always welcome. It's probably going to be close to York, Pennsylvania, but it'd be great to have you there, and good conversation and good folks. And following on from that, so this is the Lancers, and was this Hall of Fame, Bob?
No, I think
This Polo last year.
no, that's Pulo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is
That's where our
Profiles
show
in
is. Yeah.
Music. Yeah, Profiles in Music last year. So it's the same stage setting coming up for 2023. And good sized group to extend on that. And Bob, no, I don't have a picture of this. I didn't get the pictures for this year's drumline. I just haven't had the opportunity. We'll try. I say we because John and I try and work this together. I'll try again for February. But right now, and Bob, we've got what, 13 snares?
Yeah, hopefully at least 12. We had 13 in practice, so that's
Well, anyway, so basically the other day at practice, last Sunday, as a matter of fact, we had 22, I believe 22 drummers in residence for the rehearsal. A good size
Can I
group.
ask a question?
Sure.
How is the Corps financed?
Bob, you'll have to go to that. You're on the board.
I didn't hear that question.
How's the Corps financed?
Boy, we're lucky. We get money from parades. We do a little fundraising. We get some grants. We've purchased all the horns, either new or used. We purchased all the percussion equipment. Nobody pays anything. There are no dues. You get your uniform free. About the only thing we ask is if we take a bus, somewhere we take ask for $20 or whatever. When we went to Plymouth last year, we gave every Corps member $100 toward his room. It's kind of amazing, and a lot of that happens because all the instructors are volunteers, and it's
Wow,
a good deal. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Hey, sorry I ducked out on you guys, but I noticed I had an email response from John Simpson. I sent out a thing called Through the Years and how things have changed. And I think I sent it to most of you guys too.
Yeah, I just saw it before you came on, before I got on.
Yeah.
Yep,
but John's he's still kicking it. I talk to him rarely. He's sometimes hard to understand completely. Of course, all of us get that too, I guess. We get thick-tongued or something. But yeah, I hope to see him again when we go back up to Kansas City. You know, he's in Overland Park, just right outside of Kansas City. He's on the Kansas side, down in Shawnee Mission area and all that. But yeah, and you know, his stint with the God,
the Skyriders.
Skywriters. Thank you. And there was another one, Jim Swigert. He was with him in that group too. And then there was another guy, and they were at that time. I mean, well, John's pretty versatile, so he was a trombone player too. There were 3 trombone players. There's another guy from Fort Hays that I knew well when I was getting my degree, and he was down there. And but yeah, I mean, no more Coors in Kansas.
Well,
There's plenty of Coors in Colorado.
So, so Ray, thank you for that comment, and let let John know we'd love to, if he can do it, we'd love to have him on board here.
Yeah, I've told him
I
that
know
a
there
couple
are
of times,
issues on occasion.
and I don't even bring it up anymore because he says, no, thanks, but no. And he's very cordial about it, but
Oh, absolutely, he's a great human being, a lot of fun to be
Yeah.
around.
yeah, he really is. He sent me a CD once of well, he's done it several times. He said, "You got to listen to this tuba player." He says he's just magnificent, and he sent me the CD down here, and I listened to it. Yes, it was very magnificent. I mean, it's equal like to Arnold Jacobs or any of those dudes in the Chicago Symphony, which, by the way, we're going to go to the Chicago Symphony concert Saturday.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we opened our McKnight Center. We had the New York Philharmonic. They came for the gala opening of the McKnight Center.
Where is that
It's a world,
located? Where is that located?
in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a $60 million edifice, and it's world class. Acoustics are wonderful. So anyway, the New York Phil came down to do the gala grand opening, or whatever you want to call it, and we went for that. And then the next year they came back. The nice thing is, and I didn't know this for the first one, but the second one I found out while they're there. The Greenwood's newly erected Greenwood School of Music, which runs right adjacent to it, they can share a stage. And the musicians, different section leaders or whatnot, they get together with the students, mostly undergraduate students at OSU. And, yeah, and they do some outreach stuff in the community. I mean, it's a real giving program. So anyway, yeah, it's the first time for the Chicago. I'm looking forward to that on Saturday.
Should be a lot of fun.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Speaking of John Simpson, before I forget, when you talk about CD, for those who have never heard, John Simpson did a CD with some
Oh, yeah.
remarkable pieces on it. And probably the most amazing piece on it is Rhapsody in Blue.
Oh,
He does
absolutely.
that- Yeah, he does that with one valve, and he was doing the push-pull with the tubing. And
Yeah.
it is incredible.
It sure is. It's
Truly incredible.
I mean, he goes in the stratosphere, man. He's just off the charts. God.
I played that for a euphonium player who's on full ride scholarship down at She's either Florida State or University of Florida. She's in the, she's not ready to graduate, but she's in their upper level stratospheric program and performing with other symphonies and things like that. She's that good at that age.
Yeah.
She just was was like drooling. How can you do that with that instrument? So yeah, John Simpson is very much, I don't often say this, kind of a one-of-a-kind player, I think, but that's my humble
Yeah.
opinion.
I totally agree.
Yeah, speaking of Kansas, Joe Cridian shot me a note. Sorry he's not on tonight. I believe he's considering retirement here in the near future. And so he's looking for some things to do too, like community bands and stuff like that. So if you've got any thoughts, let him know.
What's the name?
Joe Cridian.
Oh, from up at Fort Hayes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been a teacher there
Oh, yeah.
for quite an extended period of time.
Yeah, I knew him when I got out of the Air Force. I went back there to get my undergraduate degree. He wasn't there immediately, but he came soon after. And I was up there for band camps and,
Joe was just a bass drummer,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hold that thought.
Just an oompa.
Yeah. It's like, so what's the 5 position on the trombone again, Ray? Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, it's somewhere out between 4 and 6.
Yeah, precisely the point. Anyway,
Yeah, I love that joke, where Piglet and Winnie the Pooh are walking along and Piglet says, whatever the bear's name was, I'm losing it, man. Anyway, he said, does anybody really know where 5th position is on a trombone? And the bear says, only God knows. And Piglet says, I thought so.
sadly, it's
That's the
for a
truth.
non-trombone player, listening from the outside, yep, can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just imagine, I mean, trombone is like a string instrument, it's where you put your finger on that string.
Yep.
You have to hear it. You have to hear where it's going to go. Because well,
It's
you
not
just
just,
do.
I digress, and I'm keeping this crowd on too long for this stuff, but it's not just where you put your finger, but it's how you bend your finger. Anyway.
Well, of course, and also, when do you use your middle finger and when do you not?
Well, I think you've given me.
If
the
you don't
middle
like the
finger enough
conductor,
times
you
tonight.
use the middle finger more often, but
Yes, we do.
yeah, but the overtone series, the partials and everything, it's really, you don't have to have perfect pitch, but you've got to have relative pitch to kind of know where's the center of that. And sometimes, I'll be playing and I'll hear that I'm out about that much too far. The human ear will not tolerate being on the flat side. They will tolerate on the little bit on the sharp side.
So let me tell you a quick story before we go to the last slide here, because all of a sudden we've been on board for an hour, and I know folks would probably like to get their butts out of their chairs and utilize that restroom that we're also famous for now at this age in life. But my worst musical moment, absolute worst musical moment, I was playing timpani at the University of Maryland in the symphonic band, which included all the strings and everything else, right?
Right.
And a guest conductor in, and he stopped me. I forget, I couldn't begin to tell you what the piece was. He stopped it about 18 times. He had perfect pitch. And it doesn't matter what the note was. My B flat or my F or whatever I was trying to play was never going to be his B flat or F. And he stopped the orchestra time after time after time. And I've always thought that I was probably only about 1 beat off at some point in time. It was like 441. He could hear the difference between 440 and 441. I couldn't. And away you go. But I'm just, anyway, so that was What a nice day at the office that was.
Yeah, I've got a friend that in my guys group, and he's got perfect pitch, and he tells me all the time. He says, you know, it's a double-edged sword, because if you're playing in a group, like he's playing saxophone, for instance, or trumpet or oboe, he plays and piano. He's very talented, and he says it'll drive you crazy, and you just have to be able to adapt to it, because the flutes are, you know, it's just, you just have to give up, because yeah, it's a great thing to have, except when it's not. You know, if you're in a large group or ensemble of some kind. So anyway,
Well, like I said, I didn't want to bore
I
anybody.
think I just got my service call, so I better get off of here.
Okay, we're gonna close here in just a couple of minutes. So Ray, great to see you, man.
All right. Hey, good to
easy,
see you
Ray.
guys
Take
too.
it easy, Ray.
We'll
Bye-bye.
try to get some more rascals in the next time. All right. Later, Gator.
All right, right.
Stay well, Ray.
Thanks,
And here
Ray.
we go. And again, what had happened here, this little slide, what you can see of it. Let me get off the screen share. Let me get off the, there we go. Al Ruat had mentioned that because he posted the times for 8:30 p.m. Eastern, hadn't taken into account daylight savings time or other things he had wanted to talk about initially, but just to remind folks, at least I think that there are places that don't follow daylight savings time. When we post up these meetings for 8:30 and 8:30 Eastern, and away we go. So, you know, at least take that into consideration. Are you all still there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so that's what this was about. I'm gonna bail out of this. And, oh. Yeah,
Look
got
at
that.
everybody.
There you are. Hi, John. Di. Anyhow, so forgive the interruption here.
Hey, Spike, have we heard about your Salvation Army band lately?
No, we had a rehearsal tonight. We had,
Ah.
bands get to be pretty good. We get about 15 pieces now.
Great.
Excellent.
You know, we picked up three kids out of the high school. And I got two guys in there with drum corps experience. Eddie Hayward, some of you guys might remember him. Played St. Kevin's and BS alumni. And a guy by the name of Jack Leon, who was with St. Joe's Batavia. And then we just got Salvation people in there that just played. They started their music lessons when they were about 4. You wouldn't believe the musical talent inside the Salvation Army. We got a pretty good band.
Excellent.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
if you want to, we're in Leesburg. If you ever, you're welcome to come play with us sometimes if you want to.
Play in Leesburg?
We're in Leesburg.
You traveled from Boynton Beach to Leesburg?
No, I'm moving up here.
You're moving
I'm
to
moving
Leesburg?
Yeah.
I used to live in Claremont. That's where I moved from, which is like
Okay.
right up the road. About
Really? How long were
15
you,
miles.
how long were you in Claremont, Mike?
We were there a couple of times. So we moved out here in 2003. So I guess we've been out there maybe about total 15 years in 2 different houses.
Okay. I used to come there a lot, starting in the late 90s, because I had a cousin who lived there.
Yeah,
And when we went to
it's-
Florida, we would go see him. He lived in Claremont.
It changed.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure.
Yes, there used to be a lot of dirt roads and stuff and orange groves. It's just building up, and it was one of the reasons why we wanted to get out. It was just getting too congested.
And the citrus business is just disappearing.
Yeah.
Hey, Spike, I was thinking about you and your Salvation Army band connection the other day.
Yeah.
I'm doing union negotiations for a company down here, and my counterpart on the union side, his last name is Vation. Vashion. And guess what his first name is? Salvatore. Yeah,
Salvatore.
Salvation.
Oh, gosh.
So I said, I know a guy who plays in your band. He didn't think that was very funny.
Funny, Paul, funny you brought that up. God, I don't know what spurred me to remember this today, but back when I was in the mortgage insurance business, I was dealing with an S&L out of Pompano that had a multifamily deal that was kind of a problem, and we were going out to look at that. And I had heard a rumor that the money behind the thing was mob money.
Hey, I don't want to hear this.
So the guy from the SNL taking me out to show me that thing. The two guys from the developer side were walking up to the car, and he says, "Oh, here come the principals now." He says, "No, I'm not kidding you." He says, "These guys' name is Jack Giacalone and I forgot what the other guy's name was. Tony Baloney and Jack Giacalone. They're honest to God names." Salvation would
Salvation, yeah.
yeah. Pretty cool.
So Spike, you started in the remake of Goodfellas. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we eventually took that product and turned it into something really good. It worked out really fine.
Cool.
That was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all been 100 years ago, which is okay. We're still talking about it. Okay, so gentlemen, because I don't think, well, unless Cindy is, over John Dye's shoulder where she should be to keep him straight. Any comments from the group before we consider bringing this to fruition tonight? Oh, I just love dead silence.
I have a question. Gary, where's Dick Anderson? Is he not around anymore?
No, he's around. In fact, I texted him just before we went on tonight, and I've been watching my phone. And he hasn't answered my text. Sometimes he forgets, I think. I don't know, but I know one time he missed, and I sent him a note afterwards. I said, "Where were you?" And he said, "Oh, I just forgot."
Okay.
So I'll hassle him tomorrow.
Okay. It's
Well,
always good to see him. Yep.
Yep, and that's a good call, Mike. So Gary, quick question. Nothing to do with the Air Force Drum Bugle Corps, but so do you do the Ohio State drum major thing also with the Lance and the high step marching? That was a rhetorical question.
You mean when I was there?
Well, I mean, we would love to see you do that, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun to watch?
Yeah.
No, I actually played first trumpet in the marching band when I was there as a student.
Well, we don't care about that. I want to see you with the shaker one doing the back bend.
I don't think so. That might affect my golf game a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Tom's running out of material.
Yeah.
Always. Well, number one, I have no material. I have to steal from everywhere.
I need to say that the Wednesdays, fortunately, the group that I play in, the orchestra I play in, is usually on Wednesday nights. They had a string sectional tonight, so I was able to attend. But usually on Wednesday nights from this time frame, I'm at Southern Arizona Symphony Orchestra rehearsals. So I may miss the next few again if it's on Wednesday.
Well, tentatively, we're scheduled for that, so we'll see what happens. But it's great to see you when we can.
Well, I appreciate it, and I just wanted to let you know if I'm not here, that's probably why I'm not. So otherwise, I enjoy talking to you guys and reminiscing a little bit. It's fun.
And it's always good to see you.
I want to say I certainly appreciate the schedule for this year being in the latter part of the month, because the second Wednesday of the month, every month, I have an American Legion meeting at the exact same time as this call. So this works out really good this year.
Glad to hear that, Paul.
Good. Good.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
Well, thanks for organizing everything tonight. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Tom.
Appreciate it.
it, Tom.
Say, John, we got room in the American Legion for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Where do you, we should get together. I could be interested in something like that.
we meet in Monument once a month. And then we have a couple ceremonies each year that we're involved with, but not very many.
Yeah.
And members can be there, or they can be a member and not even have to go to any of the meetings.
Yeah. Good to
So,
know. Good to know. We'll talk about it next time we see each other.
Okay, sounds
All right.
good.
All right.
I'll give you a call.
Good deal. All right.
Okay.
Paul,
Hey,
Olivia, so what is the price of a beer at the Legion these days?
Well, right now, we're meeting in the Monument Chamber of Commerce building. and
Forget the
there's
price
no
of a
bar
beer.
there, but we're looking for another place but the guys bring a cooler sometimes, so there's usually beer there, and it doesn't cost anything.
Never mind then, Paul. I'll just get with you whenever they get their own.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting up with me for the evening and not having John Crowder here either. But hope to see you next month.
Was
Please
Paul,
all
Paul,
stay
were you
well.
gonna say something, Paul?
I was just gonna ask the group if anybody on this call had cataract surgery. I'm getting scheduled for cataract surgery. Bob Zoffar, so you've had it?
Yeah, both eyes. Yeah.
Yep.
No big deal.
Yeah. Everything.
I've
okay?
had,
Paul, you had it
I've
too?
had,
Yeah.
I've had one eye done and they botched it.
Did they?
Yep. Yep.
Thanks, Spike.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
So Paul, are you thinking of coming down for the show, Paul?
Yeah, that's why I asked the date. That might be a possibility on our schedule.
Okay, well, if you do, let me know. Well, get a hotel close and we'll hang out a little bit.
Oh, that'd be
I
great.
would love to see you also. And
And-
Bob Z.
Is the Maple Leaf donut business still going strong?
I'm sorry, Tom, you were saying something and Paul was saying something I didn't get either.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that Maple Leaf Donut Factory is still in business down there.
Oh, yeah, my gosh, yeah, they're making donuts. I don't eat them, but if I did, I'd weigh, 40 pounds more,
What, they got like 72 different varieties every day or something crazy?
at least.
So Bob,
Yeah, so-
Bob Z, whatever.
I'm sorry, one thing, Paul, if you're coming, don't wait too long because we sell out usually, months before the show starts, so.
Okay, we'll make up our minds real soon.
Yep,
Thank
and if I can be of any help, let me know, and I'm sure Tom wants to say the same thing.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That also, and Bob Z, send him some music. We could always use one more horn player.
Oh, we could, man. We could send you all music. We need horn players. We keep getting drummers and not horns.
Anyway,
That would be fun. That would be a lot of
it
fun.
would be fun. Okay, you all take good care, stay well.
All right.
stay safe.
Good
Thank
seeing
you, Tom.
everybody.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
guys.
Be
Yeah.
good.
Care,
See you.
guys.
Enjoyed it, man.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye now. Thing.